SummitRacing.com. Use promo code radio for $10 off an order.
The Power Hour begins now. KFAN.com/watch is where you can find us. It's available at 8 o'clock every single day, all thanks to Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed.
It's time for Fan 5, brought to you by Builders and Remodelers.
Hey, thanks, Builders and Remodelers. All right, here we go. Let's start with the Wild. Their season's almost over. They won 3-1 over the Kings. Goals by Boldy, his 29th, Hartman's 21st, and Kirill Kaprizov's 45th goal of the season. That's the second most in Wild franchise history, behind only himself from a couple of years ago when he scored 47. That is the second most, like I said, ever. We went through this earlier, but there have been 5 40-goal seasons in Wild history, and now Kirill has 3 out of the 5. He's not going to catch his record in terms of points, where he had 108 a couple of years ago. Right now he has 95, which is the second most in team history, but not going to catch his own total. Final game of the year is Thursday, hosting Seattle.
Little national TV exposure last night, and their old buddy Cam Talbot was in goal, right, Zach, for the Kings.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't see the entire game, but they were kind of, saying, look, there wasn't much to get excited about in most of the game last night, but the Wild played with pride. You got to say that. I mean, they're professionals. You get paid to play at your best, and Boldy looked good. Boldy was incredible last night, the part of the game I saw. And Kaprizov does his thing, and a few other guys I'd never heard of. And Faber,
thank you for your honesty.
Faber continues to be outstanding. I mean, what an incredible year he's had. And Gustafsson was in goal, but they're just kind of playing out the string. But they put forth the effort, which is exactly what you want to see. And the Kings are going to the playoffs, and we know that. And it was just kind of a nice way to fill out the
One more to go.
One more to go.
Last night, Connor McDavid became the 4th player in NHL history with a 100-assist season.
Amazing.
Name the other 3.
Wayne
Gretzky.
Wayne who? Lemieux?
Mario Lemieux and
Brett Hull.
Is Bobby Orr.
Bobby Orr. Look at you guys.
Wow. What a poll, man.
Hell yeah.
So check this out.
Elite hockey mind.
So Connor McDavid has 100 assists. Mm-hmm. Kucherov of Tampa Bay has 99 with 1 game to go. It's been 32 years since we had somebody with 100 assists, and we might have 2 this year if he gets 1 more. But how about this? So Bobby Orr did it in 1970/71. Mario Lemieux did it in 88/89. McDavid did it this year. How many times did Gretzky do it?
Did it like 8 or 9 or something ridiculous like that, wasn't it?
A high number, yeah.
7, 6.
It's like 10, 8, 9, 10,
7
something
and
like
a half.
that.
Only 11 times.
Yeah. My God.
He's the NHL's all-time assist leader with 1,963, but he had 11 seasons of 100 assists or more.
Naturally, just talk about what a prolific goal scorer he was, but Gretzky was the great one. There's a reason why they called him the great one.
Isn't it true that if you took away, it's either like all his goals or something like that, he would still lead all time in points? Like if he scored 0 goals, like he has that many assists, he would still be the all-time.
I mean, he's got to be close. It's
That
1,963 assists, right? So that's a ton of points. That's got to be more than anybody else.
Yeah.
If you to Max's point, combine the 2, right?
And the 3 best players I've ever seen.
Got to be close.
I mean, Jaromir Jagr is number 2 in points, and 1921. So
there you go.
Gretzky had 2,857 points.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Duh.
It's good.
Yeah. Gretzky, Bobby Orr, and Gordie Howe, the 3 greatest players I've ever seen. Not necessarily in that order, but pretty close.
So I just mentioned Connor McDavid has 100 assists and Kucherov has 99. Who leads the Wild, and how many did they have this year so far with 1 game to go?
In assists?
Yep. Just for a little perspective, McDavid has 100.
Man.
Kaprizov, 32.
Joel Eriksson Ek.
He's been hurt a lot, too, though. He missed a lot of games.
Matt
Pasta
Bundy.
Bolognese.
Yeah.
Lola Gellner.
Pac.
The correct answer is Lola Gellner.
What? Congrats! That's a hell of a season.
Oh.
My apologies. I misread that. It's Matt Zuccarello with 51.
Really?
51. Kirill has 50, but Zuccarello has 51.
He's missed a lot of games. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
McDavid has twice as many. Marnes, the Phoenix Suns and the Minnesota Timberwolves square off Saturday. It's the matchup that nobody wanted to see. Everything went wrong on Sunday, right? The Thunder lock up the 1 seed, Denver locks up the 2 seed, the Wolves lock up the 3, and then Phoenix avoids the play-in game and gets the 6 seed and gets the immediate rematch against the team they just smoked on Sunday, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The things that fell into place for that to happen was kind of wild. Phoenix they had to beat Sacramento on Friday and did by 1 and then rolled into our crib and just dominated. Yeah, it's going to be a good series. There's going to be different strategies and how point counterpoint works in the postseason. So I'm very intrigued at what the Timberwolves will do differently because we all know it has to be done differently. But I think it's going to be a good series. I heard that. I think it's going to be a good series. And look, I understand people's hesitation. I understand the not wanting to play Phoenix in the postseason. But, Karl Anthony Towns after the game said something like, you got to beat the best. I mean, it's the postseason. You got to beat the best. Why not start with the matchup that's given us the biggest problems? Let's go. Let's figure it out. We've got to figure it out from here.
Yeah,
so
if you
there's no easy route in the Western Conference.
Playing Dallas or Denver or New Orleans. New Orleans is a tough matchup for him. But Chris Finch, I know, I think will be on with PA right away at 9 o'clock today. But when you have an entire week, Marnie, as you know, to get ready for an opponent as opposed to a day or less than a day, makes a big difference. But it's pretty obvious the Wolves, number one, have to cut down on their turnovers, which were embarrassing on Sunday. Number two, take advantage of their size inside. They have a big advantage overall, and the depth of this team is a huge, especially in a potential 7-game series. The Wolves have a much deeper bench than Phoenix does. Now, having said that, again, they have Durant. We know the personnel they have, but they're finished at 6th for a reason too. I mean, the Wolves have nothing to be, cowering in the corner about. Even though they got thrashed 3 times, it doesn't matter anymore. You got to go. You get the home court. This is what you played all season,
and you got to win game 1, in my opinion. And if you don't win it, you got to be right there, and you got to show Phoenix some things that make them go, "Oh, okay."
Because it hasn't been close in any of those games.
No,
it's so
unusual.
Unusual.
The Phoenix Suns have zero fear of the Timberwolves right now, and so we need to change that right away.
Yep.
Game 1, even quarter 1. Yeah, we've been punched 3 times, and we haven't punched back yet.
Yeah, all season long when we've looked at the odds to win the NBA title, the Suns have been ahead of the Timberwolves, and you can kind of roll your eyes and go, like, they're not healthy, they're not playing well, like, why is this the case? And then when you see the big 3 healthy, you get it. That
Correct.
If they had been healthy all year long, they wouldn't be the 6th seed, right? This is a team, even though they're not as deep as the Wolves, the top end is so high. Durant's a top 20 player ever, right? Booker is a perennial all-star. Beal, when he's healthy, is a perennial all-star. You have 3 all-star / Hall of Fame level players. If they're healthy, they're going to be super tough to beat.
Yes. The guy that kills him is Grayson Allen. That's the one that I think my biggest the biggest concern.
Yeah. Kick him in the seat.
Kick him.
He's such a good 3-point shooter, and he's one of those guys that just irritates the hell out of you, but he can come up with the big shot, and he's so efficient at it. That's where the Wolves, I think, have to find an answer for Grayson Allen.
Well, there is an answer. Look, the phrase in sports, right? The cavalry's not coming. Right? Star used to always say that when it comes to if you're after the trade deadline and you can't make any moves, the cavalry's not coming. This is who you're stuck with. We have the Wolves. This is our squad. Pretty much everybody's healthy, right? We don't have a significant injury.
No. Right.
But the cavalry's coming on Saturday. We need Glue Girl. We need Chain Girl.
Well said.
We need all of those protesters back on Saturday. We need Glenn to be uncomfortable. We need protests.
Yeah.
We did really well.
Got the crowd going.
Got the crowd going.
Yeah.
Do you want to see chicken signs on Saturday? I do.
Yeah. Do you think there will be? Speaking of bad gambling, didn't Muss bet that there would
Were
be
we talking about bad gambling?
Well, no, but
because Muss once bet that I think
There'd
one of
be
them was going to be like a
nudity.
topless. Yeah, he was going
Yeah, I
to
think he
project.
did.
It's like, what are they? Oh, yeah. He predicted that one of the protesters would go
bet it.
topless.
Yeah, he bet it.
It's like, that's just throwing money away, Muss.
Yeah.
No wonder
Sorry.
he hates gambling. He's
Well, they
terrible
have
at it.
Way too much security now. I don't think they're going to get close to the court. So
Well,
you never know.
Well, I thought there'd be more just hubbub with the owners, and there's been nothing.
was
Good.
it, what game? Was it, were we in Vegas? Didn't I see a photo of like Mark Laurie and A-Rod were there recently,
were.
Yeah.
correct? But they were on opposite ends of the court, and it didn't look like Glenn and Mark and A-Rod
Well,
had
Lori
anything to
normally
say.
sits 3-4 seats down from Glenn and Becky.
But he sat next to Alex.
A-Rod.
He was there, on the
I
other
heard
side
John
of the court.
Krasinski talking about the long process that this
Yes.
is going to take, whether it's mediation, arbitration, lawsuits. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
Fun.
But
Lawyers.
I was saying that as a positive, like everything is on the court. All the attention is back to the team and what we're doing. And even when all three of those men have been in the building at the same time, there's been really no distraction whatsoever, even from the fans, which is where it would come from.
Do you think
all the attention is back on the product on the court, which is exactly where it should be.
Do you think we'll know after tonight what time the game will actually
I
be
don't-
so people can
Good
make
question.
plans?
I don't know because the second play-in game is Friday, and not
I
that.
can't wait till Friday.
Yo, they can.
I'm sorry. Let me call it Adam. Yeah, Rosie
Adam,
said he.
call.
Rosie
You're
said
not
he
going to
can't
wait till the game is Saturday. They're
If
going to
the
tell people to
Lakers-
show up at Saturday at 2
If the
If
o'clock.
the Lakers win tonight, though, and we know that the Lakers
They're
are
the
the
prime
be-
time.
but then they
But
can
the
just
other one
slot
is
them into prime
Golden
time. Yeah.
State is
But-
the one they'll be waiting him because
Right.
they
Yeah,
are
maybe.
they are a massive
not-
draw.
I
still.
By the way, I just thought of the solution. Mark Laurie and A-Rod show up in Glenn Taylor roast chicken alive, like T-shirts or signs.
This is why you're the
We don't need
idea
Glue
guy.
Girl or Chain Girl. We just need Mark Laurie and A-Rod to do it from
This
across
is
the
why
court
you're bizarre.
and just stare them down the entire time.
Yeah, well said.
I think they should have rap beef. Just both come out with diss songs.
Yeah,
Whoever has the best diss
I
song
mean,
wins.
50 Cent
Guys,
goes to
guys.
almost every game anyway
Right.
now.
Halftime.
Seems like it.
Halftime. Get a wrestling ring out there. Let's do a little tag team
Do
action.
Power Slap.
Yeah.
Power
Oh,
slam.
good idea.
That was Power Slap 7 or whatever. Let's have Power Slap 8. Target Center
Man.
Saturday at halftime. Forget Red Panda. Get Power Slap 8 out there, and we'll have
Or the chair guy.
Oh,
Glenn-
no.
Glenn
Get rid
gets
of
to
the
pick
chair
his
guy
opponent.
scares me, man.
Yeah.
He
Glenn
gives me
gets to
so
pick
much
whether it's
anxiety.
Mark Laurie or A-Rod. Right? That would be awesome.
That
Pick
would
your
be
fighter.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think you got to go with Laurie there. Yeah, it's
Just because of his size. Yeah,
Yeah.
smaller.
He was going to be on the Olympic bobsled team. He was trying out for it, I think, back in the
Yeah,
Is that
that's
right?
true.
Yeah.
going to go with the
Little known
bobsled.
fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Laurie was training to be on the bobsled team.
Yes.
Yeah, he actually made it quite
an
far.
athlete.
Really?
If you want to go
Star.
back and watch an old episode of Wolves Plus, not that old,
No,
from
they're-
last season, we talk about it.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That must
pretty
suck,
interesting.
though. Like, think about
Wolves Plus?
Why would you say that?
Terrible.
What's
We
your
were all
problem?
thinking it, but you didn't have to say it.
Yeah,
That
everybody
too.
knows it's
That too,
terrible, but
but-
you don't need to say it. No, imagine training for the
Hideous.
bobsled team and not making
Herschel
it.
Walker.
Because that's a lot of work. That's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a commitment. That's a lot of walk back up the hills.
And at the last second, some guy who's been on the
Right.
bobsled team forever is like, I want to stay on the
Yeah.
team and I roast chickens alive. And you're like, oh, God, just be on the bobsled team then, for God's sakes.
Don't you think
Jesus.
people get cut from teams all the time that they train for, Zach?
yeah, but like bobsled, that's a commitment and a half. Like if it's bad, at least
What's
you.
the half?
But if you have a contract to be on the bobsled team and then all of a sudden they're like, no, we're voiding this contract. You're not on the bobsled team. You'd be bitter.
Yeah, well
Right.
said.
You
Corey.
get right to the end. You think it's done. It's over. You're on the team.
And you have tickets to the
Right.
Olympics, so you still sit there
Correct.
and watch the bobsledding?
Yes. Oh,
Sauce, do you get this bit or not?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it a movie?
No, it's they're doing the contract bit
What contract bit?
Oh,
between
Okay.
Glenn Taylor and
all right.
Nailed it. Look at you.
yeah.
Well, just a real quick, speaking of Olympian, Suni Lee was at the game on Sunday.
Hey.
Introduced her,
watching.
gave a wave to the camera. Yeah, she's just a Wolves fan.
Yeah,
Got a
why
big
wouldn't she
event
be?
coming up
That's
here.
sweet.
Yeah, the women's gymnastics at Target Center.
Right before the actual Olympics. This is going to be huge. Yeah. Hopefully, Suni will be a big part of that. Yep.
When is that? I should bring my kiddo to that. She's into gymnastics.
In June, is it?
I gotta
March?
Google
Come on,
it.
March.
I gotta Google it.
I'm probably in Vegas.
it's never
Marnie
July.
Loretton should know this information.
Correct, yeah.
But she's got
June
to Google.
27th through the 30th.
There we go. Thanks, Zach. Doing
Oh, man,
Marty's
I'm in
job.
town. Dang it. That means I have to go.
Yeah, you'll go. You're a good dad.
Good luck getting tickets now.
Hey, Corliss?
I'll ask Barb.
Yeah.
Barb has
will
tickets
have
for
it.
everything.
Yeah, Paul, your hands up.
Hey, when we come back, Peter Schreger, who is a very, very well-respected NFL guy, I think he's on like the one mock draft a year bit. Maybe he does too, but he released his.
Oh.
It is the worst case scenario. It
For the
is
Vikings,
worse than yesterday when we talked about possibly taking back-to-back quarterbacks. This is the worst case scenario, and he's pretty plugged in.
Oh, that's encouraging.
It's a hell of a tease.
Yep.
Abbott is going to love that tease.
And I wrote some jokes.
If those
saw
two
you did
things
that.
don't keep you through the break, I don't know what will. So we'll do football tease, Marnie's jokes, and headlines after this. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
The Fan. The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Deep Cuts. Featuring deep album tracks from iconic artists like the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, The Who, The Stones, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Deep Cuts, and listen now. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
NexGard Plus, Afoxalon or Moxidectin and Pyrantel chewable tablets is the one you want for your dog's monthly protection. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Ask your veterinarian about NexGard Plus Chews today.
Hey, call 9520-RES and get them to be a part of your spring cleaning plan. We're midway through April. The weather is getting much, much nicer, of course. I hope you're starting to purge your home, throw some stuff out, donate some stuff. While you're doing that, let the great people at Zero Res, who I've been using for over a decade, come out to your house. Than everybody else. And then, of course, they're going to give you the best possible service and guarantee that you love the way your carpets look, smell, all that kind of stuff, feel. It's going to be awesome. 9520-RES, 3 rooms of carpet for just $129 if you mention KFAN. If you mention KFAN, they'll also take $75 off any air duct cleaning package you book. So ZeroResMinnesota.com or 9520-RES. It spells the same forward and backward. Mention KFAN at Zero Res.
Remembering all the ways Minnesota lottery dollars help our state is easy. Just think of this acronym: Beaches Treat Cows. It stands for Bees, Education, Agriculture, Canoeing, Habitats, Endangered Species, Transit, Renewable Energy, Air Quality, Trails, Conservation, Outreach, Water, and Sustainability. See? It's easy. Since 1990, the Minnesota Lottery has raised nearly $4 billion to help our very own Beaches Treat Cows. So say I'm in and play your part in helping Minnesota.
Meat Sauce here for my friends at Window Nation and windownation.com. The best place to replace your awful windows is with my friends at Window Nation and windownation.com. If your windows are cracked, if they're ugly, if they're leaking air, if they're, it's going to rain today. If you have water coming in to your home through your windows, you have to replace them. You don't want mold. You don't want any of the air coming in and out of it's just awful. You don't want any of that. The only reason you want air to come in and out of your home to your windows is through the beautiful screens that my friends at Window Nation will put in. Trust me, if you have bad windows and you turn that AC on, which will be sooner than you think, and it's gonna make your AC run overtime because all the leaks in your home through your windows. And if that AC goes out, that's another expense you don't want to pay. You get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, plus you pay nothing, no interest, no nothing for 2 full years. It's the best deal in windows. It's the best deal of all time. Window Nation and windownation.com. That's Window Nation and windownation.com.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams. Free to be everything you imagine and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Treasure Island Resort and Casino, TICasino.com. This weekend at TI, Wheel of Fortune Live. If you love the game like most of us here on the Power Trip Morning Show do, you could be randomly selected to go on stage, solve some puzzles, win some prizes. You can find out more information about Wheel of Fortune Live if you go to the website right now, which is ticasino.com. It's right outside of Red Wing, Minnesota. Lovely little drive, southeast corner of the Twin Cities. You can get down there pretty quick. You could play some slot machines, bingo, blackjack, stadium gaming, a whole bunch of other table games, poker, and more. You can do a lot at Treasure Island. You could go to Todeau's Steakhouse or the Trade Winds Buffet or the bowling alley or the water park and stay at TI. You could get down there today, but also make a weekend out of it. Go to Wheel of Fortune Live. It's a lot of fun. Treasure Island Resort and Casino, ticasino.com to book those rooms. And again, Trade Winds Buffet, I think Wednesday through Saturday. Todeau's Steakhouse, you can book a table. Go have some fun at Treasure Island Resort and Casino. It's Island time, ticasino.com.
Now back to the 651 Carpets Plus, home of the Next Day Install Studios. It's the Power Trip on the Fan.
The Power Hour continues at KFAN.com/watch. And while you're there, why not subscribe to the Fan on YouTube? You can also just search KFAN Minneapolis on YouTube to find all of our stuff. KFAN.com/watch. Thank you, Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed.
Today at 9, Chris Finch, as you mentioned, Mark Rosen will be on with Paul Allen.
Yes, sir.
Right away at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
And Kevin O'Connell, the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, at 11 as they broadcast live from TCO for the start of Vikings voluntary workouts, right? They started yesterday.
Right.
They're working out again today. So PA is going to be down there. So KOC at 11, Chris Finch at 9.
Covers two of the head coaches. I don't think KOC is going to offer up too much about what their exact plans are, but nevertheless, it's getting closer. Sauce and I were just talking during the break. Of course, Sauce, this is his New Year's Eve and 4th of July and Christmas Day all wrapped into one.
All of it. The only day better is my anniversary.
Aw.
He said on Twitter, and then he has reiterated that the three best sporting events of the year are the NFL Draft, the Masters, and Week 1 of the NFL season.
Does he stand by that?
Yeah, I stand by that. Yeah, of course.
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you.
Marnie, what's your favorite? Mine is very easily ridiculed by everybody else here because mine is the main event of the World Series of Poker. Is my number one sporting event of the year, even
when
though it's
Thunder
not a
Down
sport.
Under announces their new crew.
Yeah, 1 and 1A, I guess. Sure.
See?
What's your number one? Do you have a number one sporting event, or does it waffle year to year?
Top of the head, probably not just because we just talked about this, but possibly Olympic gymnastics.
Really?
Wow.
So every 4 years, but still. Every event, all of them?
I'm not a big beam fan.
Not a big fan of the beam.
Obviously, floor exercise. I love when they show the parents in the stands and they're weaving and bobbing and weaving.
Living vicariously through their kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, supporting with every fiber of their
feeling it.
being.
Yep.
It's probably Olympic stuff.
What does it say about me that my favorite Olympic event is when the divers hit their head on the board?
Oh my.
Rosie.
I just think it's unbelievable.
Or ski crashes.
Oh, ski crashes
Yeah,
are
the
elite.
best.
no.
Yeah, those are the best.
The triumph of victory and the agony of defeat. Rosie, what's your number one? Do you have one?
You know, it a lot of it depends, since we haven't had a lot of local championships around here, because you can go back and say, well, of course, I mean, 87, 91, whatever. If there's a local team involved, if the Vikings are playing in a championship type game,
No, I mean, you're missing the point of the question.
I know.
I'm saying, like,
watching
every year, if you tell me I only get to watch one thing on TV, I'm picking the World Series of Poker main event. Sauce is watching the NFL Draft. Marnie says, even though it's every 4 years, she's like, give me women's gymnastics. You
I
can
would say
only
the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl?
Yeah, I would. I would have to say that because it's become. Well, I mean, I don't think I have missed one, but yeah, I would say the Super Bowl.
It's really the Super Bowl of sporting events.
It really is, yeah.
Well said.
Super Bowl of sporting events.
The Super Bowl of Sauce is next Thursday. It's the first round of the NFL Draft.
Well, especially
It's
this year.
Sauce's Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I mean, there have been a lot of years where even from a Viking standpoint, it's been kind of a yawner. Like, well, there's not much going to happen. They're going to Rick Spielman's going to trade down anyway, or Kwesi in this case last year. This year, I can't recall a more intriguing year for the Vikings, but for the NFL in particular, with the quarterbacks that are mentioned. If these are indeed going to be generational type quarterbacks,
Of course they won't be.
They won't be.
That's the
Two
beauty
of
of
them.
it.
No, they won't be. Two of them will never make it past year 3 or 4.
Gigantic disasters. But
Yes.
it's fun because we don't know which ones they are.
Right.
A couple of these guys are going to be a gigantic waste of time that we talked 4 months about how they were going to change the course of these franchises.
Right.
And they're going to be out of the league in 4 or 5 years.
Well, what about
Can't
the
wait to find out who.
05 draft? They were all good. Manning, Rivers, Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
So you named one draft where that happened.
I'm
In
just
the
saying,
last
though.
18
I'm
years.
just saying.
It's possible, but of course there's more drafts where all
Oh,
of them were
I mean,
disasters.
The
and-
Ponder draft. They were
But
all
you, can't,
terrible.
but you can't compare the Ponder draft to this
No,
year's
you can't.
draft because
No,
those
you
were
can't
they were
play
at the
scared.
top of the list, and they were. No one thought going into that draft that Christian Ponder and Blaine Gabbert and who else was in there?
Jake Locker.
Any of those guys were going to
Steve
be
Lombardozzi.
superstars.
Yeah, Lombardozzi
They
was
thought they
supposed
were going to
be
be
legit.
maybe serviceable NFL starting quarterbacks, not like the 4 or 5 names that we have at the top of the list.
We'll quickly go through this Peter Schrager mock draft, and I just want.
So wait, this isn't his opinion? This is what he's hearing? Is that what you're saying?
He said, quote, timeout, start over. Hold on, please. He posted like an hour ago, 32 minutes ago, after weeks on the phones with GMs and head coaches, my first 2024 mock draft. He's connected. He's the guy who a year ago, who's the running back the Lions took?
Jameer Gibbs last
he
year?
was. That was the first time he had the Vikings taking Jameer Gibbs, right? And then we found out after he posted that from a very good source, they love Jameer Gibbs, right? He's dialed in, right? He's not just guessing. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Pick 1, Caleb Williams. Pick 2, the Commanders take Jaden Daniels. Pick 3, the New England Patriots take Drake May. Pick 4, he has a projected trade. The Giants move up to 4 and take J.J. McCarthy. Horrible start for your Vikings. Move all the way down to pick 11. He has the Minnesota Vikings at pick 11 taking Terrion Arnold, the corner from Alabama. Great player. That would be terrible, right? Move all
He's
the way
a great
down.
player, but it's
Good
not
player,
going to
but
make anybody
people
excited
would be
around here.
pissed, right?
Yep.
Go all the way down to pick 23.
I have not heard that name
He's very
once
good.
until right now, though.
He's very sure.
You might be making it up. That's how out of nowhere that is for me because I have not heard that name once.
I wouldn't do that to you because you'd figure it out and ridicule me.
I wouldn't figure it out because I don't know the name you just said.
So,
that
but
might
he's
be
a
a
corner.
character
Right.
from
What's
some show you watch.
Terrion Arnold. He's a very good cornerback from Bama, right?
They take an edge rusher before
at
they take
pick
him.
Mary Roseanne or something.
Brilliant.
Dear
At
God.
pick 23, he has the Minnesota Vikings.
Bo Nix.
Taking Bo.
Yeah, I was gonna guess. Yeah.
That would be
a disaster.
a disaster.
Well, on paper it would be, yeah.
On paper it would be, but you'd be
People
better
would
off
be-
taking Bo Nix at 11.
And my guess is Penix goes before him, so we would be taking the 6th quarterback in the first round. That's a disaster.
Penix has to be gone before.
It doesn't look like Penix is gone.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Let me check it again. Hang on. I've made mistakes in my life. Hold on. Hang on. No, Penix is available, and they went Bo Nix.
Interesting.
So, yeah, Peter Schrager has him taking a corner and a quarterback
Nix.
at 23. That would be a disaster. Right?
Great.
Yeah, it would be a PR
People
disaster.
would be pissed.
It'd be a disaster next Thursday. Again, it doesn't matter if it's Caleb Williams. None of us know what it's going to end up being,
Correct.
but on Thursday, everybody would be pissed. Except for Bo Nix.
Yeah, Bo Nix would be pumped.
He'd be pretty pumped
I'd say so.
because he'd have a pretty good chance to play pretty quickly here in Minnesota.
Correct.
Yeah.
I would have to Bo Nix that idea.
Well played.
Marty,
Was that
it's
your
time
joke?
for jokes. Transition. Does that count as the first one?
That was good.
Yeah, it might be the funniest of the ones I've written.
Oh, boy.
So.
Imagine the headline writers if they draft Bo Nix. Oh, boy.
Hey, Marty, when you sent out the group text last night going, hey, I'm writing some jokes if anybody else
nobody
wants
reacted.
to join, when it was just crickets.
Nobody even thumbed up the text.
Whoa. No, I was busy.
I did in my heart. Man.
Yeah, I was rooting for you.
I was just-
I like laughing at the way you react to your jokes. It's my favorite part.
Yeah, but they're not very good.
Oh,
and
we don't know
what I
that.
need is more people. And we're bound
Yep.
on
Barnes, I bet
Wednesday
they're
last
great.
week when we had our little fill-in. Lieber wrote some. Creasel wrote some. Maxo was in.
How'd it go?
We
Great.
killed it.
Crushed it.
Yeah, they actually they brought it. That might have been the best joke segment of all time.
It was wonderful.
Thanks, Rosie.
I don't know why that sounded creepy.
Rosie listened and laughed.
I did.
NASA's NASA's plan to bring samples from Mars back to Earth is on hold until there's a faster, cheaper way. The goal is to gather more than 30 core samples from Mars to scour for possible signs of life. I mean, all they're going to find is beer cans or remote controls because men are from Mars.
Wait, what? SNL. Why?
No wonder Lauren Michaels doesn't like when the characters
You
break.
get through the end of the joke.
What was that?
Men are from Mars.
I do have one.
So, do you know where women are from?
Venus.
Nailed it. Zach, you have one?
Yeah.
Fire away.
CBS will re-air Billy Joel, the 100th, live at Madison Square Garden Friday night. Sunday's broadcast was cut short during his final song.
That's pretty good.
Zach, that's great, dude. That's very good.
I was actually
Zach.
watching that when it happened.
Zach, that was funny. You're very clever.
That was clever. I'm going to miss you next week.
Yeah, that was good.
He'll be here.
No.
Maxo?
Okay, yeah, I got one. Cecil, a 7-year-old golden doodle, was a bit hungry and ate $4,000 of his owner's cash. A dog hasn't consumed that much green since Snoop Dogg's Friday night.
Yeah. Brilliant. A dog hasn't consumed that much green since Max watched the bonuses.
That's right. That's where I thought the joke was going.
That would have been a good one, too.
Since I dog sat for bonus.
Oh, I do
I
have
do
one
think
more.
Japan, man. Look at John Bonus just living his life.
There are
World
podcasts
traveler.
that I love. A+, Patreon, Gleeman and the Geek. It's very good. The technology is incredible. It sounds like they're in the same room. I know, like, it's 2024 and all that stuff, but it blows my mind every time I'm like, they're 6,000 miles apart, and it sounds like they're in the same room.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It is.
Anybody else?
The annual Boston Marathon was held yesterday. An Ethiopian runner won in the men's division, and in the women's division, the top 3 finishers were all from Kenya. After the race, the ladies said, "Kenya, get me some friggin' competition, America!" Kenya.
You suck. I have one more, Cor. Oh, that was good. Are you going to get cut off this time?
Zach.
The owners of OJ Simpson's white Bronco are looking to sell. They originally wanted to sell for $3 million, but have cut the price down to $1.5 million.
No.
Zach, you suck.
Oh.
Who would buy that?
I thought it was at a
lot of people.
I mean, that Ghost Adventures guy might.
I thought it was at some sort of museum or something along with the car. Seriously, your favorite guy with the car, the Volkswagen.
Bundy.
That Bundy
Bundy's not my
drove.
favorite guy.
Well,
I'm interested in
that's
serial
serial
killers.
killers.
My favorite. No,
You
last
love
night.
Bundy.
Last night, my lovely wife is watching. She falls asleep to some Bundy documentary, and I finally had to go.
Oh, it's so weird.
Well, she needs a palate cleanser from what she just experienced.
I love her, but man, I don't know how she does that.
But no, she eventually was like, "Yeah, it's a little much," because one of the first women he ever killed, attempted to murder, was spoke for like the first time, and what he did to her is unbelievably horrific. And I'm like, "We can't watch this," and she's like, "Yeah, I agree," and we turned it off. Bundy, I can't watch him anymore, man. That bastard's too scary. I know he's dead, but he's lurking somewhere. He's terrifying to look at. They have like this. It's like a brand new documentary. I think it's on Hulu. Where like they talk to the woman and the daughter that was like his stepdaughter. Like they're like, yeah, we had no idea.
What year did Married with Children start?
90,
like 88 or 89?
Yeah, 88 or 89.
So like Bundy was a thing at that point, right?
87.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice.
And what a weird thing to start that show
That's
with a
when
guy
he was in
named
his-
Al Bundy. Like that would be in 93 starting the show and going like, all right, let's the first episode of Friends. No, 93 is like 96, whatever. 93. What's your name? Oh, Chandler Dahmer.
Right. Yeah.
What?
That when
Let's
was
change it to Bing.
Wasn't he executed 89?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So he was a notable name, and
Yes.
you're going to go with Al Bundy?
Yeah, he's the worst.
Interesting.
Maybe we should stop doing documentaries on him because I feel like it's
Yeah.
not really
Glorifying him.
glorifying, but it's kind of getting to that level of like, wow, he's super popular.
Yeah, I mean, didn't he trend when the one came out on Netflix because so many people thought he was attractive?
People love him, man.
Well, compared to
the
Richard
whole Bundy
Ramirez.
glass.
Zach
thing.
loves Richard
I
Ramirez.
don't love him.
Will you just?
You guys.
In fact, I willing to say I don't care for him. Really, honestly, I don't like.
Fantastic,
That's a stretch.
Zach.
Wow.
He
I didn't hear
doesn't
that.
care for Richard Ramirez.
Come a long way, friend.
Way to go, buddy.
You did make some weird comments about him the first time you saw him.
Yeah, but I didn't know who he
Sure.
was.
Yeah.
He had those eyes like Charles Manson.
Yeah. He was just dead.
I believe before you were told who he was, I think what you said to Sauce and me is, "Kill me, Daddy."
Yeah, you did.
And we said, that is a poor choice of words. That's Richard
you said,
Ramirez.
quote, I'm going to look at this picture in my hotel room.
Oh,
You
boy.
did.
Shirtless.
Sure.
Has to be.
Now it's time for headlines.
Headlines brought to you by our friends at Wolf River Electric. Do you guys know you can go solar with Wolf River Electric? Go solar. Save some money on your electric bill. Maybe wipe it out completely. Get those panels. All right, here we go. How about this? According to a new survey, 4% of Americans say they buy lottery tickets every day. 4%.
4%.
Wow.
Every day.
Every day.
But let's flip it.
One.
What percentage of Americans say they never buy lotteries? They use the word never. 4% every day. What percentage say they never buy lottery tickets?
40.
Yeah, I feel like a good
40 is a good
20
number.
25.
50.
25.
10.
Pretty good guess, Marnes. 31%
Yeah, right.
say no lottery tickets ever. A family in Oklahoma got their 9-year-old son an octopus for his birthday.
What?
Oh.
A baby octopus?
I would say that's a really strange headline already, right?
Right.
You got a 9-year-old in Oklahoma an octopus for his birthday. Only problem is it almost immediately gave birth to 50 octopus babies.
Oh, my gosh. That's how many they have?
50.
A lot of calamari.
We'll see.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
Jeez.
sort of.
Yeah.
And then they opened a calamari restaurant.
Get him, Marnes.
Some fitness programs promise abs within 30 days. According to experts, that's not possible unless you're already close to having them, because in reality, it can take a year or two just to burn the excess fat to be able to see the ab muscles. So if anybody's promising 30 days, they're saying it's closer to 2 years
Wow.
if you truly need to burn the fat to get to the abs.
Oh.
1 to 2 years.
Rosie, how close are you?
Real close.
I'm about a decade away.
No, not that close.
Would you be triggered if the person in front of you on a plane threw their coat over the seat to the point where it covered your screen?
Larry David, like.
Of course.
What would you do if they threw a coat over the screen?
I would gently say, I would put it, I'd say probably tap that person on the shoulder and say, excuse me, your coat is over the screen. I'm watching this movie right now. I'd be polite about it the first time.
What movie would you be watching at that point?
I,
Tu Wong Fu,
Rock.
Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar?
yeah.
Or maybe Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire?
Black Swan,
I'm
a little
missing-
Black Swan.
That was on TV. That was
Wow.
on TV the other night. I think I mentioned
What,
that.
Precious, based on
No,
the novel
Black
Push
Swan.
by... Oh,
And yes, that scene was included.
still loved it?
Daddy's enjoying this.
I bet he was. Today is Wear Pajamas to Work Day. Way to go, Sauce.
Yeah, I do every day, basically. Yeah.
Are people following up on that?
I didn't know that.
Wear
go ask Little
pajamas
B.
to work day. I don't know. A 27-year-old man in Tunisia somehow fractured his blank while he was rolling over in his sleep. I'm not asking you to fill in the blank. It's exactly what you think that it was. He fractured it while rolling over in his sleep. He underwent emergency surgery, but will be fine.
So,
Was he sleeping on a plywood?
yeah, it had to have
Oh,
been
he was sleeping
at
on wood.
attention.
Well, yeah.
That sounds
That's like
horrible.
I've heard of morning, but just midnight. What?
Yeah. How horny are you?
Right.
Rosie, you have a cat, right?
Two of them.
What are their names?
Hooker?
Well, Willow came with me, and Karen's cat is Truman.
Like,
Truman, like the president. She had Truman and Abe, but Truman's there, and Willow.
Like the show.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. Truman Burbank.
Right.
How many toes does Truman have? How many toes does Willow have?
Will, I think, has an extra toe.
Ew.
I think, yeah. Truman, I believe, has.
Here's why I don't even care.
I don't know.
The reason why you're hesitating is the reason why I'm bringing this up.
I never looked at them.
83% of cat owners claim they don't know how many toes their cat has. 83% say, I have no idea how many
Rosie,
toes
you're such a cliche.
my cat has.
Mine still has. I didn't declaw her because I think it's barbaric, but not working out real well because he's like scratching the furniture.
Rosie.
So I better get those clipped pretty quickly again.
Yeah, Rosie.
Yeah, I
Get
can't
it
do it
painted.
though.
Get it
My
painted,
daughter
too.
does it.
What's the
I
answer,
cannot
though?
Exactly.
clip them.
Here, I didn't know this either. How many toes are they supposed to have, Rosie? Only 17% of cat owners got this right.
3?
No.
6.
How about total?
9.
Total on all 4 paws. How many do they
It
have?
feels like
11.
8. Not your cat with the extra.
12 total.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought she had 5 on each.
This is fascinating because I never thought of this.
It is 5 on each in the front, but
Right.
4 on each in the back.
Oh,
So
I
it's
don't care about the back.
18 total.
18.
5, 5, 4, and 4.
Yeah, the back, it's interesting you ask that because the back you don't care about because they don't really scratch.
Button
But
mark.
But
But to your point, Rosie, it's not uncommon for cats to have a few extra digits.
Right,
So the record for toes, I guess, 28.
wow,
There was a cat with 28.
28 toes? Wow. Yeah, correct.
Rex
That's
Ryan
so
would
weird.
love a cat.
Yeah.
That was Rex Ryan's babe.
If I won the lottery, here's one of my new favorite pranks. This is
Good
kind of
today.
genius. There's a guy in Canada named Justin getting endless pizza deliveries. He's not ordering pizza. He's just getting a guy or gal to show up at his door to deliver pizzas. It's been happening for the last 6 months. He can't get it to stop. At first, they were coming from a place called Pizza 73.
Oh, great place.
The orders are using not only his address, but his email and his phone number. So they have his email, have his phone number. They're showing up at his address, delivering pizzas. But he's not getting charged. But the delivery drivers do get upset when he says he didn't make the order and then wants to send the pizza back.
They just haven't caught on yet.
He reported the pizza deliveries to the police from the start because he was spooked by how the scammer was using his personal information in the orders. Thought maybe he was being hacked. So the police told him, change your number. So he did. But that didn't stop the deliveries either. He called Pizza 73, told them not to accept any orders under his name, but then the scammer went to Domino's and started sending him Domino's pizza.
What a great bit, but what an
Right.
expensive prank.
Yeah. Well, someone calls the police. Oh, no, I'm getting too much pizza.
oh please, you're benefiting from
The
this.
police asked, is this maybe a disgruntled ex? And he says he's never dated anyone.
Oh, well, then you need more pizza.
Okay, well get over here.
Dozens and dozens of orders over the last 6 months. The projection is maybe $1,000 worth of pizzas have been ordered for Justin. Justin says he hopes it isn't going to waste and that they're giving it to people in need. I doubt that's what the pizza place is
Probably
doing. If they
not.
bring it back to the restaurant, they're not just going to, well, I'll just donate this. It's going to get thrown away or eaten.
Yeah.
Police are investigating, I guess, but since Justin has no idea why he's being targeted or who he's being targeted by, they're just going to try to ramp up the security on the computer and maybe figure it out that way. But they have no idea why somebody is spending $1,000+ sending him pizzas.
Wow.
That's
an odd
such
thing.
It's so weird
Yeah,
because
isn't
like
it?
pranks that don't cost you much money are funny, but think about being so vindictive and so mad at whoever this is that you're just going to spend money over and over again every time you order one.
Zach just brought this up in the very funny joke segment, but let me bring it up again. OJ's white Bronco. The white Bronco is now being auctioned off eventually. They're trying to sell it for $1.5 million. They've had offers up to $750,000 in the past, but because he just died, they're hoping that the $750,000 is going to be at least doubled. So they're looking for $1.5 million.
Wait,
So
did
I know
you say OJ's who?
I assume it's the estate or somebody.
Oh, the
I don't know.
estate. Okay. All right.
It's currently
All that money is
it's
going
currently
to other
on loan
places.
to a museum, a crime museum
That's
in
what I'm
Tennessee. But
saying.
the owners are thinking about selling. They're hoping for 1.5.
Yeah, that's where
So
Bundy's
is at the
Volkswagen
Bundy's Volkswagen is at the Serial Killer Museum in Washington D.C.
Oh, I read it was in Tennessee with
maybe
the
not.
Bronco.
So here's an impossible question to answer, but just try. How much would you pay for this to have it, and eventually flip it? But I mean, would you pay $5,000 to have OJ's Bronco?
No.
Yeah,
I would in a heartbeat.
yes.
Well, you could turn it around and give it to. If you do something good with it.
What if you had to pay for it and keep it? What would you pay for OJ's white Bronco? To have it in the garage as a talking piece, just going, hey, that's the Juice's white Bronco.
$10.
Want to go for a ride?
$10.
I would look at it and vomit every day from that man.
But wouldn't it be crazy to just have one of your buddies constantly drive you around?
Yeah, you always sat in the back seat.
Yeah, you're always in the back seat on the phone.
Yeah. Which is
Colin
weird
Costas.
because yesterday I was watching part of that documentary where the chase starts. We have phones now that can barely last like an hour, right? Mm-hmm. The battery life on some of these phones is terrible. OJ was on the phone for 12 hours.
That's true.
That's the greatest battery of all time in a cell phone.
Well, so hang on, let me guess. You think there's some kind of a conspiracy?
No.
Duracell or Energizer was in on it.
No, I don't think there's any kind of conspiracy. I just think it's weird.
Well, no, the old cell phones were the ones that did last 2-3 days.
Yeah, they were connected in the car.
It's a relatively new concept, at least in the last 10 years, of having to charge your phone every day because these.
I had a phone in my car that would probably just exactly
it was in
like
the console.
that.
Cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
Never ran out of juice.
My uncle Gordon was a stock trader, and he had a super early cell phone, like an actual, not connected to your car, like a handheld one.
Like the big one?
That dude was a wheeler and dealer,
yeah,
man.
Man. Good. Wasn't he always be closing? Wasn't that his bit?
No.
Or is that your Uncle Glenn Ross?
You should have said, didn't your Uncle Gordon say greed is good?
Yeah, I've never seen that movie.
Oh. Then what? What?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yesterday was tax day, and H&R Block software crashed.
Oh, come on.
Great timing.
How?
Perfect.
Yeah, they saw a bunch of complaints because they're saying, like, it's tax day. You have to be prepared for the site to get a lot of traffic, the software to get a lot of traffic, and I guess they didn't.
Oops.
We can maybe end on this. The latest innovation in doorbell cams. Devices armed to shoot paintballs. What? There is a Kickstarter on the way for Paint Cam Eve, which shoots paintballs and cartridges of tear gas.
Wow.
Jeez.
It's like a Bond movie.
Essentially, if somebody's at your doorstep that you don't want there, whether you think it's a threat or whatever, you can shoot paintballs or tear gas from your doorbell.
God,
cam.
I would use that every time Dov showed up.
You and me both, brother.
Right.
You and me both.
That sounds like you're going to get the hell suit out of you.
I still think it's the craziest thing ever. Again, when Jamie, whatever his name is from Ring, was on Shark Tank, he did not get a deal. They didn't think it was worth it. They didn't think people were going to like doorbell Ring cams. Now, what Amazon or somebody bought it for $1 billion. Yeah, I mean, the guy's he's ridiculously rich now. But now it's one of those bits where you look back and you go, who didn't think that was a good idea? It's so easy in hindsight. Doorbell cams are the best.
Yeah, they are.
I need a filter. I need to know who's at my door before I answer it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Those rascally kids.
It's the modern version of the peephole.
It is 100%. And when we built our house, my wife did not want windows in the front. She didn't want people to be able to look into the house. So we don't have.
Oh, but it also, prevents you from looking out.
Right, but we got that ring cam. So now when the doorbell rings, we can tell if it's one of our friends. We can tell if it's one of the neighbor kids that we either like or do not like, so they can just be shooed away.
Yeah,
we can tell if it's somebody door knocking or the Girl Scouts. Get lost!
Yeah.
How do you got cookies? Ring cam is key.
Can I come over and watch?
Sure, you can watch it anytime you want, Rosie.
Like having that scam device on your telephone. Someone's calling you and you go, I'm not answering that.
But it's like last week I'm in Vegas from Wednesday to Saturday, right? The doorbell at like 8:30 every morning would ring. And there was hot-ass Randy going to work. And I'm like, he's right on time again at 8:30.
And you'd say, welcome, Randy.
Right. And then, I have a motion detector on the ring cam as well. So like 11 or 11:30 p.m., he's walking out the door.
Wow.
Like putting in like a 12, 13, 14-hour day.
Yeah.
And I would just send him a text like when he's walking out, like, man, dude, I can't wait to see all the projects you worked on when I'm back. And he's like, oh, yeah. No, yeah, you're going to love him.
Good for Randy.
Yeah, dude.
Always working hard.
But how would I get to see that moment without the Ring doorbell?
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm watching this.
Rosie.
House
We
looks
know.
phenomenal, by the way, Randy. Thank you so much.
Good for Randy.
Yeah. 4 days of just, I think, nonstop labor, from what I was
That's all
told.
he does.
Worked hard for like 12, 13 hours a day. Marty, we'll see you on Friday.
Okay, I'll be here.
Initials.
Yes.
Let's go.
Hell yeah, man.
Rosie,
yeah.
we'll see you tomorrow.
I can't wait.
By the way, Martin, so you're not on TV at all this week, are you? You're doing twin stuff.
Nope, I'm not.
You got nothing.
I got some time off. I'm doing a Lynx event tomorrow, and then it's game 1 on Saturday.
Is our
I'll
new
see you
draft
then.
pick going to be there? The Lynx
I don't
event?
think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
It's
I
a
think game one.
jersey patch
Gotcha.
event.
Gotcha. Chris Finch, right off the bat here with PA at 9 o'clock, then Kevin O'Connell at 11. PA live the next 3 hours right here on The Fan. We're back tomorrow, 5:30 to 9. See you then.
To listen back to today's Power Trip Morning Show or to hear previous shows, podcast us on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
KFAN Total Traffic.
From the Quick Trip Traffic Center, here's a look at the roads. 35W northbound stop and go 60th to... Avenue East, an accident. 494 westbound Cedar Avenue to 35W, that's heavy, and northbound Lafayette Freeway jammed up Concord to 94. That's traffic on The Fan. Traffic is sponsored by Visit Fort Myers.
Explore art and culture throughout the islands, beaches, and neighborhoods of Fort Myers. Discover historic landmarks, browse art galleries, and enjoy live theater performances. Direct flights arrive daily from Minneapolis. Plan your trip at visitfortmyers.com.
Hey, it's Meat Sauce from my friends at Finch Home Solutions and FinchHomeSolutions.com. They're the absolute best at what they do for all